What if I told you that just 10 acres of land could potentially generate tens of thousands of dollars every year? Would you believe it? Because around the world, from Africa to Southeast Asia to Latin America, thousands of investors are quietly building wealth through one crop, oil palm. But before you start dreaming about becoming the next agricultural millionaire, there's something you need to know. Many people jump into oil palm expecting quick profits. Years later, they're disappointed. Others plant the same crop and build assets that produce income for decades. So what's the difference? In this video, we're going to uncover the real numbers behind a 10-acre oil palm plantation. How much does it cost to establish? How long does it take before you earn anything? How much revenue can it generate? And most importantly, can 10 acres of oil palm actually make you rich? The answers may surprise you. Stay until the end because we'll reveal the one mistake that destroys more oil palm investments than anything else. Let's get started. Section 1. Why investors love oil. Palm oil palm is one of the most profitable perennial crops in the world. Unlike annual crops that require replanting every season, oil palm can remain productive for 25 years or more. Once established, a well-managed plantation can continue generating income year after year. Even more interesting, global demand for palm oil continues to remain strong. Palm oil is found in thousands of products: cooking oils, soap, cosmetics, processed foods, industrial products, biofuels. In fact, chances are you've already used several palm oil products today without realizing it. This consistent demand is one reason investors continue putting billions of dollars into the industry. But demand alone doesn't guarantee profits. Numbers do. So let's examine the numbers. Section 2. How many trees can you plant on 10 acres? Before calculating profits, we first need to know how many trees we're dealing with. Modern oil palm plantations typically use a spacing pattern that allows approximately 143 trees per hectare. 10 acres is roughly equal to 4 hectares. That means a 10-acre plantation can accommodate approximately 570 to 600 oil palm trees. For this analysis, let's assume you plant 580 trees. Remember this number because everything else depends on it. Section 3. The biggest challenge: waiting. Here's something many videos don't tell you. Oil palm is not a get-rich-quick investment. You plant today, you wait, and you keep waiting. Improved varieties generally begin producing small harvests after about 3 years. Commercial production often begins in year 4. Peak production usually occurs between years 7 and 18. This means oil palm rewards patience. If you need immediate cash flow, this investment may not be suitable. But if you're thinking long-term, the economics become very attractive. Section 4. How much does it cost to establish 10 acres? Let's talk about startup costs. Actual costs vary widely depending on your country, labor expenses, land conditions, and management practices. But here are realistic global estimates excluding land purchase. Land preparation, clearing, site preparation, and field layout: $1,000 to $4,000. Quality seedlings. Assuming improved seedlings cost between $3 and $8 each. For 580 seedlings, $1,740 to $4,640. Planting labor, hole digging and transplanting, $300 to $1,200. Fertilizers and soil amendments during establishment. First 3 years, $2,000 to $6,000. Weed control and maintenance. First 3 years, $1,000 to $4,000. Miscellaneous expenses, transportation, replacing dead seedlings, irrigation, security, and unforeseen expenses, $500 to $2,000. Adding everything together, establishing 10 acres of oil palm could cost approximately $6,500 to $21,000. Again, these figures exclude land acquisition costs. Section 5. Now the question everyone is asking: how much money can 10 acres actually make? This is where things become interesting. A mature, well-managed oil palm tree can produce approximately 10 to 20 fresh fruit bunches each year. Average bunch weight often ranges between 15 and 25 kilograms. To stay conservative, let's assume each mature tree produces 180 kilograms of fresh fruit bunches annually. For 580 trees, 580 times 180 kilograms equals 104,400 kilograms, or approximately 104 metric tons of fresh fruit bunches per year. Now let's calculate revenue. Fresh fruit bunch prices vary significantly around the world. Depending on market conditions, prices may range from $80 to $200 per metric ton. Using a conservative estimate of $100 per metric ton, annual revenue would be $10,400. At $150 per metric ton, revenue becomes $15,600 annually. At $200 per metric ton, revenue rises to $20,800 per year. And remember, this is only from selling raw fruit bunches. Section 6. What happens if you process the fruit? This is where many successful investors separate themselves from ordinary farmers. Instead of selling fresh fruit bunches, they process them into palm oil. Why? Because processed products usually command higher prices. By moving further up the value chain, producers often capture significantly more profit. However, processing also introduces new challenges. You need additional equipment, more labor, technical expertise, higher capital investment, and better management. Higher rewards often come with higher complexity. But for many investors, this is where substantial wealth is created. Section 7. Your expenses don't end after the trees mature. One common mistake beginners make is assuming mature plantations require no further investment. That's false. Even productive plantations require ongoing expenses. You'll still need to pay for fertilizers, harvesting labor, pruning, weed control, transportation, security, general maintenance. Annual operating expenses for 10 acres may range between $2,000 and $6,000 annually, depending on management intensity and local costs. So if annual revenue is $15,600 and annual expenses total $4,000, your estimated annual profit becomes approximately $11,600. But poor management can reduce profits dramatically. Excellent management can increase them significantly. Section 8. The 3 factors that determine your success. Factor number 1. Seed quality. Your profits begin with your seedlings. Poor quality seedlings can reduce productivity for decades. Never compromise on planting material. Always source seedlings from reputable suppliers. One bad decision at planting can affect your income for the next 25 years. Factor number 2. Plantation management. Oil palm is not a passive investment. Neglected plantations produce disappointing yields. Regular fertilization, weed management, pruning, and field monitoring are essential. Successful plantations are managed. Failed plantations are ignored. Factor number 3. Market access. Having reliable buyers or processing facilities can dramatically increase profitability. Many farmers lose money simply because they cannot sell efficiently. Production matters, but marketing matters just as much. Section 9. Can 10 acres of oil palm make you rich? The honest answer is, it depends. 10 acres alone probably won't make you an overnight millionaire. But a well-managed plantation can generate steady income for decades. More importantly, it creates something many people never build, an asset. An asset that continues producing long after the initial work has been done. That's why many investors view oil palm not simply as farming. They view it as long-term wealth creation, almost like building an agricultural pension fund, one that keeps paying year after year. What do you think? Would you invest in a 10-acre oil palm plantation? Or would you rather invest in another agricultural venture? Share your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video and want more content about agriculture, investing, and building long-term wealth, make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.